Good morning, everyone. First thing I want to say is just wow. I hope you watched the football last night. Unfortunately, I didn't get the chance, but I did keep on top of things as we were progressing. Also, I've seen the highlights and stuff. But what a turnaround for Liverpool. That result last night has kind of inspired me. I'm going to be redoing a couple of older videos that I've done before. Just I'll come to them as and when. But today, guys, we had a great opportunity come to us, and I've been just kind of waiting for the opportune time to dive in and do a video. I was hoping for another example to surface to make it a bit more impactful for you guys, just so you can see, right? But the title of the video, as you've seen by now, is a glimpse into the summer ahead. Okay, so obviously a lot of the topics we've been chatting about on the video, on the channel, and what you'll see a lot of people chatting about and discussing on podcasts and Twitter and tweets and all this type of thing, is what the summer's going to be like, who's linked with who, what transfers are ready to happen. And especially if you're newer to the index, and this would even go for myself, because for a lot of us, I dare say the vast majority of anyone watching this video certainly, is this will be the first summer you're going through. And if it's not the first summer you're going through, it'll be the first summer you're going through without international competitions, i.e. the World Cup they had last year. So we're all kind of in the same boat to some extent. And what a lot of you will be thinking and wondering when you're weighing up options is for who to buy and whatnot is what kind of rise can I expect to get out of someone if they're linked with a team or if a transfer goes through and all this type of thing. And we had an amazing example in the last 7 days. He's actually in the decrease list now, and that is Moussa Dembele. Okay, so I can't speak for everyone in the football index spectrum, you know, the Slack community, Twitter, podcasts, all this type of thing. But I think it's fair to say, by and large, no one was really expecting Moussa Dembele to be involved in any sort of transfer sagas or anything like this. And last week, out the blue, I would call it, he got linked with Man United, and you can see the sort of spike that he's taken off the back of that. Okay, so everyone's attention has been like Felix and Jov. I'm talking about the wider audience here. You all know the same people. Bruno Fernandes and we could scroll through this list and name pretty much everyone. But especially the Ajax guys as well, Neres, Van de Beek, or Van de Beek as the Dutch call him. And all these types of people. But with Dembele, it did really come out of left field in my opinion, and it really gave us a great early taste of what's to come. Okay, so prior to that news, you can see we've got the crosshairs on the now, just right before that spike. He's hovering between 90 pence and 89 pence. Okay, quite stable over, that's early May. So from mid-April to early May, after all the announcements are done and dusted and whatever, bonuses and splits and all this type of thing, he's been at a nice kind of level there. And then as soon as that news is broke, he's quickly hopped up to 122, which from 90 pence is a 33% increase, or thereabouts certainly. And that kind of number one for me, it reaffirms the strategy I'm holding with transfer speculation, that I'm happy to have cheaper players at a bit more of a gamble of will they actually surface into anything, because the percentages are there to be had on cheaper players. Because if you see somebody like Dembele, for example, is 90 pence, and you can get on that quite quickly as the news breaks, or you hear something first or whatever, and to take somebody from 90 pence to £1.22, regardless of how much money you're putting into them, is going to be a good return on investment. It's going to be a good profit. It's going to be a good trade for you. Okay, so if you're kind of weighing up your options and this type of thing as well, I don't know if I'd put 33% as the yardstick. That if you get a decent story to Man United or that type of team, or if a transfer goes through, then you should expect a 33% return. I'm going to stop one step short of that. Okay, but it's basically a great glimpse into the summer ahead, because like everyone, or like anything you can imagine, when we talk about stuff on the channel, we're talking about being ahead of the crowd and getting on things before other people get on them, or seeing things before the story breaks. Who could possibly be interested in, or this team are looking for this type of player, who fits that kind of mould, who's out there, who might be somebody who we've not spoke about, or might not be seen by the mass audience. Oh, he's only 90 pence, or he's 75, that type of thing. That's where you want, in my opinion, you want to be shopping for these kind of transfer pops that you can try and make some profit on. But with that sort of, we'll call it the Dembele rule, right, of a 33% rise on the back of basically one story to Man United. And Man United are going to be linked to everyone and anyone this summer, just with the undertaking that Solskjaer's got in his hands, the rebuilding job he needs to do. So that's something to give yourself a lot of food for thought, and something to really bear in consideration when you look at your own portfolio and you see who you're holding for transfers, and that's something you might want to use as an exit strategy. Okay, well, if I get a big pop and we get to 30%, 33%, is that time to release some of the funds out of that person? Do I want to cash out on them entirely? And you know, that's something you might want to use as a bit of a yardstick. But for me, when that happened, I didn't. Some of you might have went, "Oh, damn it! I wish I'd bought some of him yesterday. I was thinking about him," or, "Oh, I wish I grabbed him when I seen he was 95 pence or on the way up," you know. But like I always say, guys, when big spikes like this happen, I am quite happy to sit back and just watch how it pans out, and then go back and try and do something about it later on. Because things will naturally calm down. You know, no one rises exponentially forever in a day. And a good example of that is Wan-Bissaka. Okay, so we've highlighted Wan-Bissaka before because his graph was a lovely big gradual curve on the way up, and as you can see in recent times he's went backwards, you know. So these things, you know, they always go cyclical, as I say, guys, always go circular. Just because you miss the first spike doesn't mean you'll miss the second one if you're keeping your eye on things and you're really studying their price movement and the fixtures coming up and who they're potentially going to be linked with, you know. If you don't know why he's dropped off a cliff, he's basically come out and said he'll be staying at Palace next year. Okay. On that note, guys, Bissaka is somebody who I might be buying some of myself for. I've got a wee bit of change in Son. I put a tweet out earlier, and I'm just going to be messing about with some loose change to try and get the portfolio back up and running again. I've got the fantasy football, the FIFA stuff sorted. I'm happy with having £400 in that, but I'm then looking to try and build my portfolio elsewhere around that, and this might be somebody who would put some money into. The reason for that, guys, is there's a news story. If you Google Bissaka, you'll find it probably fairly easily, but Gareth Southgate it's been reported a few weeks ago that Southgate has sounded out Wan-Bissaka for how likely he might jump ship to the Dominican Republic, you know, or something like this. So with the Declan Rice fiasco, with the previous history they've got with like Wilfred Zaha, who's also a Palace player, funnily enough, I don't think Southgate is going to take any chances with Bissaka, because I think he can see that he's going to be one of the top right backs in the world, in certainly in the foreseeable period of time. So I think he'll get into the Nations League, and I think as soon as you see an England team get announced, a senior team, and he's in it, this 179 will vanish. It will go away. His pre-established ceiling that he's got is sitting at 207, and for him to return to that, I think something like an England call-up would get him a long way towards that. And then, even though he's saying he's not going to move, I'm kind of going off tangent a little bit, but I'm just kind of telling you something that I've spotted, and if you want to take advantage of it, go for it. It's something I will be buying some of at some point. We'll kind of see how it goes, but I do babble on these videos, guys, but wee bit of food for thought with that. So the point of that is, just because you see somebody always on the up, you think, oh, I've missed the boat, like I always say to you guys, just stay patient, wait for things to calm down, and really assess everything. You know, what price are they at, what's changed, what's the fundamental changes, is it just market movements? The market's just moved away from them for some reason. People are taking money out of, let's use another example, people are taking money out their Messi, then now where are they putting their money into? It might not be as black and white as this, but they might be moving into a Salah or a Son or even a Harry Maguire. You know, but if money leaves somewhere, it's either going out of the index altogether, and you'll see the market cap going backwards, which it has done today, or it will move into another player, in which case the index shouldn't really be moving about too much, okay? Unless it's money coming out of the squad player section and money then going into the top 200, because the top 200 is the main, if not all of the yardstick, you know, the measurement for the market cap itself. I'm pretty sure I've read that somewhere, that the market cap's based on the top 200. So if money's coming out the squad players, then people are going into the top 200 with it, then again that will stimulate the market cap to increase and whatever as well. Okay, so we glimpse into the summer ahead, guys. Like you can see with Dembele getting a 33% pop on basically one day of media. He was only in the media for 1 day. Sorry, he was only in the media for 1 day, and that was quite a big pop. And you can see he's calmed down now, he's down to 111. So again, if you were kicking yourself like I missed it, there's always time to catch the train again, you know. You're never going to miss everything. But don't get me wrong, that being on it first gives you prime position to manoeuvre the way you want to, rather than the way the market dictates. Okay, guys, so I wanted to make this quite a quick one. I need to go phone my mum. If you're new around here, guys, like, share, subscribe, retweet, all that good stuff, guys. Subscribe to the channel, stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next video, perhaps later today. Take care, bye bye.